Hey y'all, it's Dree. Today's message came through pretty clearly, and it's about truth, perspective, and releasing a burden that has been carried for far too long. We're going to walk through the cards column by column so you can see how this entire message unfolds. So let's start with the first column. The cards here are the High Priestess reversed, the Queen of Coins reversed, and Temperance reversed. This energy tells me that the collective has been in a phase where intuition was being ignored or maybe suppressed. The High Priestess reverse, she often shows that deep inner knowing that we all have inside of us. But since she's reversed, it says that something about the situation made it easier to push that voice to the side. Because then we have the Queen of Coins reversed. This can happen when someone is trying to hold everything together externally, like focusing on stability or responsibilities, or frankly maintaining control. But internally, things feel unbalanced. And that imbalance is confirmed by the Temperance reversed. Because this is the card of disharmony, impatience, and emotional overload. So this first column is showing the root of the entire situation. When intuition is ignored for long enough, life naturally begins to fall out of balance. Now let's move into the second column. Here I have the Ten of Coins upright, the Four of Cups upright, and the Eight of Swords reversed. The Ten of Coins represents stability, legacy, family structures, and long-term plans. It's the life that someone believed they were building. But the Four of Cups steps in and shows that there is emotional detachment inside of that structure. It's the energy of it's the energy of looking around at everything you've built and realizing something still feels like it's missing, because then we see the Eight of Swords reverse. And this is where the shift begins, because this card is about freeing yourself from limiting beliefs. It's the moment when someone realizes they are not as trapped as they once thought. So this column, really, it's the awakening. It's when someone starts to realize that the life that they thought they had to stay inside of may not actually be the only option for them. Now the third column brings the truth to the surface, because here we have the Seven of Swords upright, the Page of Coins reversed, and the Moon, which is also reversed. The Seven of Swords represents secrecy, strategy, or even behavior that is not fully transparent. Sometimes it can show up as deception. Sometimes it shows up as avoidance. But either way, it's energy that operates in the shadows. And the Page of Coins reverse can show immaturity and lack of follow through, or maybe someone who hasn't fully stepped into responsibility yet. But then the Moon appears and it's reversed. So this is the moment when the fog lifts. The Moon reverse, it clears the illusion. It brings mental clarity and allows intuition to speak up again. So the truth becomes visible. And what was hidden, that becomes understood. Then we move to the fourth column. Here we have the King of Coins upright, Judgment reversed, and the Hangman, which is upright. The King of Coins represents grounded leadership kind of energy. It's stability, responsibility, self-worth, and someone who is fully rooted in their power. But the Judgment reverse comes in to show that hesitation to step into that higher version of self is present. Sometimes people know what they need to do, but they delay answering. But they delay answering that call, because then we get to the Hangman. And this represents surrender and a new perspective. It's the moment where everything shifts because someone finally sees the situation that they're in differently. This column, it shows the turning point. Growth requires a change in perspective here. And that change is going to open the door to stability. I got this thing and I press in, you hear that little beeping and they just instantly run outside. It's amazing. But anyways, let's get back to this and look at the bottom card energy. Here we have the Ten of Wands upright, the Sun reversed, and the autumnal equinox. The Ten of Wands, that shows the collective carrying an enormous amount of pressure, responsibility, and emotional weight. I'm getting that this has been a very heavy cycle. The Sun reverse, that shows that joy and happiness, they are still present, but they've been overshadowed by that weight. And the autumnal equinox card brings in timing. This card speaks about harvest and preparation and balance that develops over the coming months. So the energy suggests that this heavy chapter that y'all are in, it is nearing completion. But there are still lessons being integrated before the shift can fully arrive and click in. Now, when we step back and look at the entire spread here, the message, like I said at the beginning, it becomes very clear. Y'all started in a place where intuition was being ignored and life began falling out of balance. And as time passed, people began waking up inside structures that no longer felt aligned. Truth started to surface. Illusions, they started to dissolve. And now the path forward requires a completely new shift in perspective. A willingness to release the weight that has been carried for way too long. And also the courage to step into a more grounded and authentic version of yourself. And this is where I want to leave you with a simple question. I want to know if you feel called to share where in your life have you been carrying something that was never meant to be carried forever. Because sometimes the breakthrough, it doesn't come from pushing harder. Sometimes it comes from finally having the courage and the faith to just set something down. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on what truth may be revealing itself inside of your life right now. And again, if you feel called to share, let me know in the comments what part of this reading spoke to you the most. And follow along. And remember, where there's love, there's light. I'll catch you guys in the next one.